Welcome to another Golden Globe slugfest for Gold Derby. I'm Chris Beecham, one of the editors here, along with other editors Daniel Montgomery, Joyce Ng, Susan Wazena, Paul Sheehan. If you want to look up our film prediction slugfest, it's also on our YouTube channel as well as on our homepage today, leading into Thursday's nominations. Early in the morning here for those of us on the West Coast. But let's talk about television. The one thing we know about television is that they love to be the first to honor new shows. So we expect a lot of shows that have debuted in 2018 to be among their nominees. Daniel, let's start with you. Who do you have winning on the drama series side?
I've been going back and forth. I've had a hunch about Pose for a while, but it doesn't have as many of like the big A-list stars that the Golden Globes usually like. So I've recently switched to Homecoming. They adore Amazon at the Golden Globes. They've won Best Comedy Series 3 times for 3 different shows. So I've got Homecoming and I've got Julia winning to go along with it because the Globes often like to pair up a program winner or a film winner with at least one acting award.
Paul, who do you have in that category?
Sorry, you cut out there for me, Chris.
Who do you have in drama series winning?
Right now I have Killing Eve, but I could say I've got Homecoming in second place. And it's funny when you were saying about the first to discover, because I think what maybe hurts Killing Eve is it was up at the Emmys. So right. I'm listening intently to see what everyone says.
Well, I'll jump in just because I'm going to add to that. I do agree that the Emmys might hurt that a little bit, but because it didn't win anything, and because they didn't give it series nor Jodie Comer nor some other things, I don't know that they're going to look down on it, as being first at the Emmys. I have it winning there. They have embraced some British shows over the years on the drama, comedy, and limited series side that they were the first to do, or maybe second to do. So I feel like Killing Eve, to me, almost feels a little bit safe of a choice. What do you think, Joyce?
Yeah, I still have Killing Eve, but I'm debating switching to Homecoming just because, like Daniel said, like it's newer, and I also have Julia winning. But like they're both like cool shows, which the Globes like. Like it's it reminds me of like Mr. Robot, and of course, Sam Esmail created Homecoming as well, or developed Homecoming. So I could see either of them winning, and I don't think, like to Paul's point, I don't think like them being up at the Emmys really hurts it in that sense, because it only got 2 nominations and didn't win either of them, and not in drama series. So I could see them also pairing up Killing Eve and Sandra Oh to go with it, because Sandra got so much press for being the first Asian actress to be nominated at the Emmys for drama actress. I'm kind of like more concerned about like filling out the rest of the 5, because I have Handmaids returning and I have Pose getting in, and like I don't know what to do with the Americans because they've never nominated before in drama series, and I could just see them not caring about it at all, like like just giving them acting nominations for Matthew and Carrie, which they've done before.
I've got the 3 you said getting in, but the one that has recently broken, and we've heard good things from their voters, Haunting of Hill House on Netflix is in drama, and I've got that getting in. And then my 5th one is, I just lost it. Sorry. I don't know. I've got, Bodyguard. I don't have it in, but we found out just in the last week that they were originally going to put that in limited series, and then they changed their minds to drama series. That's one that's breaking right at the right moment in terms of peak appeal and discussion. So I wonder that might get in as well. Daniel, let's start with you again on your drama actor and actress.
Well, as I mentioned, I've got Julia Roberts for drama actress. I think that's a close race between her and Sandra Oh and Jodie Comer. I think if they nominate Jodie, she could win. Because it's a showier role. It's the one that didn't get nominated at the Emmys. She's a new a kind of a breakthrough star who the Globes often like when they've given Gina Rodriguez and Rachel Bloom Golden Globes over the years. They really like those kind of like new starlets. So I could see her getting in, or I could see them splitting the vote and that helping Julia Roberts. So I think it's between them. And then for actor, I genuinely don't know. I'm predicting Matthew Rhys sort of by default. I don't necessarily know if that's gonna happen. I think I might change that depending on how the nominations shake out. Like if we see Jack Ryan get nominated for Best Drama, that might be a sign that they want to give it to John Krasinski, or Yellowstone for Kevin Costner, or Counterpart for J.K. Simmons. Yeah, I could see that going any number of ways, and I might end up changing my prediction depending on what surprises us in the nominations, what gets in, what gets out for drama series.
Susan, what do you think about those two acting categories?
Well, you're right about them loving new things to stand out, but I just switched from The Americans to Killing Eve because I did think that Sandra Oh would win, and I think Matthew Rhys. I can't tell you why, but I mean, I just think because it's over, I don't think they're a sentimental voting group. They do things for other reasons, but that's basically my figuring now. Who knows? He might not even get nominated, so who knows?
I don't think they have any urge to reward the Americans. It's not like the show was never like as big as a hit as Breaking Bad was. Right. Like they felt pressure to reward Breaking Bad and Bryan Cranston. I don't think they feel the same pressure to reward the Americans and Matthew Rhys, even though he just won the Emmy. I have J.K. Simmons winning, and I honestly feel like if Counterpart had been eligible for last year's Globes, he would have won, because it's just kind of like right up their alley. It's a star show, and he plays two characters. And I think he can get in. I will have to reevaluate afterwards, like if he doesn't get in and pick someone else. But if he does, depending on the field, I think he could win.
Who do you have, Paul?
Sorry, winning
drama actor and actress.
Oh, well, Julia Roberts, of course. I have her winning winning for her commercials. You know who actually got winning drama actor, which is kind of, I'm sure you're all going to think, what? Kevin Costner, Yellowstone.
That's who I've had since the summer. Not that we had the prediction center up, but that was the biggest ratings for a cable series of the entire year, a new cable series. And they like to do film stars. So I've got Kevin Costner right now. I almost hate to switch it since I've had it since June in my mind. But the one that keeps coming back to me, something Daniel just mentioned, because he had success, huge success on the film side this year, directing, writing, producing, acting, John Krasinski might be, I mean, they're not going to give him probably a film award. So this might be the place that they're going to give him an award. And yeah, how cute would the photo be backstage of him and Emily Blunt both holding Globes?
Yeah, I have him in second place and was considering moving him up. And again, it's an Amazon series, to Daniel's point. So
well, let's talk about comedies. Joyce, I think you wrote an article recently about how it's been 8 years, is it, that a comedy series has won twice at the Globes? And they gave a brand new show, as we talked about before. Last year was Marvelous Mrs. Maisel on its first try. They did send, even though it's not debuting on Amazon quite yet, they did get the DVDs out to critics and Golden Globe voters weeks ago. So they have seen the new season, supposedly. I do think it's winning here. It's right up their alley. It's the kind of show they like anyway, but it's also, there's the only other really new show that you would say would get in, and I don't know if it's their cup of tea, would be Barry. Otherwise, they've got to go back to shows that they've honored before, for the most part, in nominations. And I just don't know if they're going to do that. And that's one reason why they like to spread the wealth among these networks and studios. I'm sort of thinking backwards here. If they're going to give Amazon comedy series and Rachel again, I don't think they're going to give Homecoming drama and Julia. I think they're going to want to spread it out.
I think that's part of the puzzle. Like, you have to decide where they're going to honor Amazon and then pick something else in the other races.
Well, what do you have? If you don't have what I have in comedy, what do you have?
I have Barry, but I don't like feel confident about it. I feel like the field is kind of weak and is kind of prime for Maisel to repeat, so I could totally see it repeating. I could also see it just going a completely different direction and maybe going with like the Kaminsky method on Netflix, which I'm not predicting, but I could see them doing that. I could also see them going with Forever, which is also on Amazon. And it's kind of like, it's one of those, they're like low key like shows that they just really like Mozart in the Jungle, which they like, no one like really saw that coming. They nominated that 2 years in a row and they gave them 2 wins the first time. Yeah, I'm still like trying to figure out. I think like I'll feel better about it after nominations come out and pick who will actually win. But I have Barry getting in, and Maisel and Forever and Atlanta, and The Good Place, which is more of like a hope diction. Like I wanted to get in, and I don't know if it will.
I do have Kaminsky in. They've never been a Chuck Lorre fan. I think Big Bang Theory got in. I know Jim Parsons won once. Did the show ever get in?
Yeah, I got in a couple times.
So, and I do have Michael Douglas.
It was like a year where they like dropped it and then they brought it back, which is very rare for them.
I've got Rachel winning acting and Michael Douglas. That, again, I think a film star, somebody they've honored many times over the years. He's also gotten the DeMille Award. I think he makes total sense to me, an actor. Let's go to Paul here. What do you have in these 3 comedy races?
Oh, I think it's Mrs. Maisel again. I think it is a rerun of the Emmys. Bill Hader and Rachel Brosnahan.
Okay, I could see Bill winning, especially if Barry gets in. Susan, what do you think?
I say ditto to Paul. That's what I have. So
okay, and Daniel.
I've got Barry and Bill Hader. I think they'll double up on those. I'm a little skeptical about whether they'll give Marvelous Mrs. Maisel wins again after last year. It felt like it won the Globes. They put it on the map last year, and then it swept the Emmys. I don't know. Sometimes people can repeat off of that momentum. Like Homeland won its 2nd Golden Globe right after it swept the Emmys in a kind of surprise. But I don't have it winning either comedy series or comedy actress. Right now, I'm going out on a limb for Kristen Bell. It's the kind of thing I can see, since this field is so scattered and there's so many returning shows, they don't have as many new shows to go for. The Good Place is kind of a new show in the sense that hardly anybody has really, really showered it. And so they could really put it on the map even like a couple of years late. So if it gets in for series, if Ted Danson gets in for comedy actor, if Kristen Bell gets in for comedy actress, I could see it winning actress and series, actually, depending on how well it does.
Well, let's wrap up with limited series. It's one of the best races I've ever seen. And in my actor and actress, especially actor, you could take my 5 out, put the next 5 in, and be totally understanding and say that's that 5 makes sense too. There's that many good people. Let's start with Joyce this time. What do you have winning these 3 races?
I have Versace winning limited series. I feel like it'll just. I feel like even if it doesn't win, it could just pull like a repeat of OJ. Like it'll win the big prize, and it may not win like the acting prizes. Because right now, I feel like Darren Criss will win, but I am pulling for Hugh Grant to win for A Very English Scandal. So I have him winning limited actor, and I have Amy Adams for Sharp Objects winning actress, because I feel like she'll get double nominations, and then they'll take care of her here.
Susan, what do you have?
I have Versace, and I have Darren Criss, even though I would like Hugh Grant to win something, anything. But I think that kind of goes hand in hand. And then with actress, I have Amy Adams for that.
Okay, so the same ones that Joyce, and those make total sense. I just don't have them. Paul, what do you have?
Definitely, and that is Amy Adams for sure. Hugh Grant and Versace.
And Daniel?
Yeah, I've got Versace, though I'm not confident about it. I've got Darren Criss, and Amy Adams feels like an easy bet. I feel like she's, of these three, it's she's the farthest out front. And that's why I can see Sharp Objects winning TV movie limited series. Like, they could double that up. And, you know, since Assassination of Gianni Versace was already taken care of at the Emmys, it was a way back earlier in the year. So maybe it feels like old news to voters at this point. So I can see them wanting to go for something newer, like Sharp Objects or Very English Scandal, and doubling that up with Hugh Grant. So the only one I'm confident about is Amy Adams.
I've got Very English Scandal. I will say there's four that we haven't mentioned on the limited series side that we have heard really strong information at parties and such that the Globe voters love them. And, you know, you never know how to take that. One is The Little Drummer Girl. One is Dirty John, which is on Bravo. I've got Connie Britton getting in, but I don't have the limited series. I just couldn't figure out where to put it. One is The Romanoffs. And they used to love Matt Weiner. I think Mad Men won 4 in a row. The only show to ever win 4 in a row. And then the Ben Stiller Showtime. We haven't really mentioned Showtime. Every network's going to get in somewhere, pretty much. This Escape at Dannemora. They seem to be really loving that. And for that reason, I've got English Scandal winning, Hugh Grant winning, pairing up, and Patricia Arquette winning.
I
can see Patty winning. Mad Men, I think, won 3 in a row.
She looks she does. If you look at that or look at the trailer, you don't even know it's Patricia Arquette.
Yeah, she's the best part of the show. Like, she completely overshadows Benicio del Toro and Paul Dano. I have Benicio getting in for actor too. I feel like if they really like her, or that show, as you say, like they honor it there. But I feel like Amy is still the safest in that category.
I may switch back to her. Another one that could get double nominations, just looking at my whole list here, is Emma Stone as Maniac, as well as The Favorite. And two others I'll mention on actor side. Florence Pugh on The Little Drummer Girl. I'm hearing lots of people talk about her, as well as Alexander Skarsgård, who just won last year for Big Little Lies, and Emma Thompson and King Lear. We haven't mentioned King Lear, but I think if anybody gets in for King Lear, it'll be her and not Anthony Hopkins. They're not huge admirers of Anthony Hopkins from years ago when he said some negative things about them. So right around the time of the DeMille Award. So I don't know that he gets in.
Well, they kissed and made up with Gary Oldman last year, so maybe.
Well, they did, but they almost felt like they needed to predict the Oscars too. Well, thanks everybody. Any last comments before we wrap up? We'll follow our Golden Globe coverage on Thursday. We will have tons of articles. We'll all be up really, really early in the morning. We'll do some slugfest following the nominations to let you know what we think about the surprises, and you know there'll be surprises. So thanks for watching today.